My vlog is about gluten-free. So I want to show what snacks you eat for gluten-free. What do you got there?
Cookie.
Hey friends, my name is Shaz and this is Shazness Wellness. Today I'm going to be talking about my staple gluten-free products. I suffer with PCOS, leaky gut syndrome, and candida yeast overgrowth. And my boyfriend Brandon suffers with irritable bowel syndrome and a stomach ulcer. So we are a full gluten-free, dairy-free household, but today we're just talking about gluten. Long story short, the problem with gluten is that it causes inflammation. With excess inflammation, you can get weight gain, you can feel fatigue, you can feel indigestion, and it can disrupt your hormones. So especially for someone like me with PCOS, when I have gluten in my diet, I'm more susceptible to weight gain, I'm more susceptible to increasing my blood sugars, and it don't make me feel so good. The first step about going gluten-free is completely forget what bread tastes like. Once you do that, you can move forward. I'm gonna show you some comparable staples where they're both gluten-free, but one is gonna be higher carb and one is gonna be lower carb. All right, so both these bad boys are gluten-free, like I said. Rice is the higher carb option, quinoa is the lower carb option. And the reason for that is because quinoa has protein and fiber. It slows down the spike of blood sugars and insulin and levels them out. So you'll get more protein and fiber with quinoa, but these are both carbs, they're both gluten-free. This is the high carb option, this is the low carb option. All right, the next staple is pasta. Now, I like to buy rice pasta. This one has spinach and carrot puree, which is why it looks green and orange. So Brandon likes to eat this, but again, it is a little bit higher in carbs because it does come from a rice source. So I find the high carb option would be rice pasta. The low carb option would be something like zoodles, so zucchini noodles. If you don't have a spiraler, I believe Metro actually spirals them and sets it out for you where you can get like the salad section. So definitely hit up Metro for a ready-made zoodles. You can also do something like spaghetti squash, which is super easy. You just buy spaghetti squash, you shove it in the oven, and when you cut it and you open it, you scrape it out and it's like noodles. Simba is being super annoying. Simba, just relax. I'm trying to make a vlog. So let's talk about oatmeal versus buckwheat. Both of them are gluten-free options for hot cereal or your homemade granola. They both have fiber and they both have protein and they're both gluten-free. Is there one better than the other? I'm not really sure. I just know that I find oatmeal bloats me a lot more if I eat too much oatmeal, and I don't feel like I break out from buckwheat. I feel like if I eat too much oatmeal, I'll break out from it because it's a little bit more starchy. I hope that makes sense. So in this situation, I would consider oatmeal the higher carb option and buckwheat the lower carb option, although statistically they're very similar. This is better for weight loss, to feel leaner, and for better digestion. All right, let's talk about veggies. So high carb versus low carb. High carb, potatoes. Low carb, zucchini. Both delicious, both nutritious. Both can be baked, both can be fried, both can be barbecued. They're great, all right? Zucchini is my go-to vegetable because it is very versatile, it is low carb, and I love it. I love the taste of it. It's good. You can even make, and there's a hair on my zucchini. I'm sorry. Ugh. You can even make zucchini brownies, which is incredible because there's so much water in zucchini. Woo! Next. So cereal stuff, you got Cheerios. These are gluten-free Cheerios versus chia seeds. Okay, not very comparable, but if you want a cereal type thing or breakfast or a snack, Cheerios are great, but you can also make chia seed pudding, and you can do a lot with chia seeds. You can make chia seed energy balls, you can make chia seed smoothies, and I find these are great because they're high in omegas, they're high in good fats, and they're high in good proteins, super low in carbs. A+. Both are A+, but depends on what your goals are. All right, let's talk about gluten-free bread. Here's the high carb version. Here is the low carb version, all right? Both gluten-free, but big difference. This one has a ton of ingredients. I don't know if you can see, but the ingredient list is super long and there's a lot of sugar and there's a lot of added things I'm not a fan of. Brandon loves burgers, so he can't live without these. That's fine. But for me, when I feel like bread, I need a lower carb option. And I find these ones are the best because they're brown rice wraps and the ingredients are very simple. If you look at the difference here, the ingredient list is a lot smaller, the carb count is a lot lower, and the sugars are a lot lower. So I know you can't really make a burger with these, but what I typically do is I just chop up the burger and I make like a burger wrap instead of a burger bun. So high carb option, low carb option. Big tip with this though, they're not like your typical wraps. So when you buy normal wraps, you can just kind of wrap stuff and eat. With these ones, they break apart very easily. So a big tip if you're gonna buy the Food for Life brown rice wraps is to fry them after like a burrito. So what I suggest is warming up the wrap for a minute. Stuff your things in it, roll it up, and then place it on a pan with a tiny bit of oil and fry it, because then it holds it together better and then you have more of like a toasted burrito and it tastes delicious. It's always best to use vegetables as your carb source because I think people tend to forget that fruits and vegetables are carbs. Carbs are not just bread, rice, and pasta. Those are just more complex carbs and carbs that have a lot higher starch and sugar in them. And a key point is to remember that just because it's gluten-free doesn't mean it's good for you. Just some other quick tips for going out and fast food gluten-free options. Our go-to fast food restaurants are things like Teriyaki Experience, so getting a chicken teriyaki. We absolutely love Greek food because Greek food is typically just chicken, potatoes, and rice. Now I would always choose the lower carb option, so I would just ask for a Greek salad, or yeah, like a Greek chicken salad. Pad Thai. Pad Thai is so good, and Pad Thai is made with rice noodles, but Pad Thai is very high carb content, so if you are looking for a lower carb option, I wouldn't choose Pad Thai, but I have treated myself once in a while to Pad Thai because it's delicious and I want it and I love it. Subway actually has gluten-free buns now, so check that out. Hero Burger is another great option, another place that has gluten-free buns that you can go grab a fast food burger. Chicken Wangs. High carb option, ask for gluten-free sauce. Low carb option, ask for dry rub. Typically sauces have a lot of sugar. Even though they're gluten-free, they are jam-packed with sugar, and you want to be careful of that because sugar turns into fat, and fat we don't like, so blah. There are tons of gluten-free products out there, but there are also high carb gluten-free options and low carb gluten-free options. High carb gluten-free options are gluten-free, your digestion will be good, your symptoms will not be present, but they are high carb, expect an increase in blood sugars, and expect excess weight gain if eaten in high amounts. It's a lot easier to stay lean and to stay fit with lower carb options. I hope you all like this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you found it informational. I'm not only gluten-free, I'm dairy-free, sugar-free, egg-free, and almond-free. I'll make lots of other videos on how to deal with food intolerances. This one was specifically all about gluten, my gluten-free staples, what carbs to go for, high gluten-free products versus low gluten-free products, and what you can do in order to achieve your goals. Please subscribe. I make videos every Wednesday and Saturday. I'm here for you. I hope you all have a great weekend. XOXO, Shazness Wellness. Peace. Some gluten-free brownies. How do you like them? Give an honest review on these.
They're honestly not bad, but brownies are actually the one thing that's honestly similar to the real stuff.
It's gluten-free, so it doesn't give you a tummy ache, right? But it is still high in sugar, so we gotta be careful of that. So yeah, he's got some of these gluten-free brownies in here. I wouldn't eat them because I'm paleo and I don't really eat grains, and the first ingredient is sugar, which means that this is super sugary, yeah. So I wouldn't go for something like this, but for Brandon, he's good. He can handle the sugars. And he also really likes this brand of cookies, which is like almost gone. Cookie Monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these are gluten-free, dairy-free, and nut-free. What is the brand here? Montana's? Yeah. So he really likes these. I really don't go for any gluten-free products. Most of my stuff is whole food. That's usually my goal. Or I'll eat something like this for chocolate. I don't really have pastry things. And the problem with me is that I'll just want to snack just because he's snacking. So I'm like, what are you snacking on? I want to snack on something. It's a problem, right? We both have problems with portion control. We're working on it. Till next time. Deuce la goose.
No, it's deuce caboose.
Deuce la goose.
Not no deuce la goose.